Okay, look, don't tell anybody, but the other day I got a phone call from someone who said they worked at General Motors Canada and they had a scoop for me. I said, sure, what would that be? Well, they said General Motors was holding an event at Ryerson University in downtown Toronto for computer hackers called a hackathon. Well, right then I knew it was a crank call, but my curiosity got the best of me, went down to see if there was any truth in the story. And there was.
Think of the car as a conveyance, but we want people to enjoy that ride, and we want to enable productivity and enjoyment of events. So use that as a bit of a North Star to guide you. So we're here at the DMZ at Ryerson. It is a hackathon. It is GM's first hackathon in Canada, and we've got a number of teams, people who are sort of deep technologists, experts in AI, people who may want to shape the future of transportation, and they're all here to try creating something that may change the face of what virtual assistants and how they might help us move, work, and play in the future. So hacking used to conjure notions of, you would go into NORAD's system and figure out how to sort of launch the missiles. But now it's become the sort of notion, Mark Zuckerberg famously had these, hacks throughout the weekend, Red Bull fueled with pizza, and people would come up with the next iterations of Facebook for mobile. It's a fantastic way to get really talented people who aren't necessarily your employees working on an important problem worth solving. When we look back at the last 75 years of the automotive industry and what's happening probably in the next 5, it is unrecognizable to a lot of people.
It's not the auto industry that you might have thought about it or your parents thought about it. We need to be moving upstream too, into these R&D and innovation areas and invent things that we can manufacture versus just relying on manufacturing things that have already been invented. So they're busy at work doing groundbreaking work. It's just really super cool.
We are using our phones in conjunction with our vehicles more and more now. So thinking through, what a car company needs to do in terms of what should we be solving for, what talent do we need to solve for that, and in part it is recognizing that there's a changing notion amongst consumers about what is a car, and a lot of times it's 100 million lines of code. I'm looking for people who can look around, beside a problem, and try to come up with things that we wouldn't have necessarily thought of.
We don't need to say that it's specifically this AI that we're using.
I would think the term hacker is kind of a broad definition. I think the idea is you are someone who's willing to play with concepts and ideas from different fields and to kind of build something new. I think that's what it stands for.
But then you have to be specific about which one it is and give them the options.
Hacking to me is more about being creative and using the skills that you have. It's just a different medium. Coding, programming is just a different medium to solve problems, to be creative, and to make your own thing out of nothing.
It's supposed to be something that it's automatic, right?
My personal drive is to kind of look at what the future is going to be like. I'm not a car owner at the moment, but to me, to come here and kind of see what technology is on the horizon and have a chance to play with some of those ideas and those concepts is exciting.
I brought my wife and 2.5-year-old son with me here today. He is a lover of cars. He's got his little cars, but he also understands tech. He's the kid who's born in a generation of swiping and pinching and zooming. So I'm trying to help him see what that future might look like.
In 20 years, I won't be driving. Within the next 20 or 30 years, where 95% of all cars on the road are going to be autonomous. That's what studies say, so that's the dream too.
You're starting to see GM evolve as more than just a car company. They're dealing with experiences, they're dealing with parts of people's lives that they're trying to add value to. So I think they're kind of growing out of the shell of just being a car company.
A lot of people say they enjoy driving, but not a lot of people enjoy being stuck in traffic in a car. And so if we can help people make smart choices and that they enjoy those kilometers ridden, then maybe that helps us be a better consumer-facing company. And we think less about selling individual cars, but how can we help people enjoy the ride?